is an emergency. Queen's Quest arrived. Emergency. Queen's Quest arrived. Emergency. Queen's Quest arrived.
Down to the queens.
Hello, ladies, gentlemen, and everybody inside and outside of the gender spectrum, and welcome back to Stardom Quest, the best weekly Stardom podcast anywhere in the world, brought to you, as always, by the 5-Star Podcast Network. The 5-Star Podcast Network is home to us, Stardom Quest. It is also home to the All Elite cast, which is hosted by Scott and the always fabulous 6-Star. We have a brand new show coming soon, hosted by Peps, called Puro Gems, which is all about, Japanese indies. I think it's once a month. He's going to talk about all that stuff, and he's going to have different guests. We also have Dramatic Dream Dragons, which is a DDT and Dragon Gate podcast hosted by Sandra and the other Dylan, who is from Eastern Lariat, I think, which is a fairly notable podcast. We also have Watch Tej, one of the two actual TJPW podcasts in all of the world. So check out Watch Tej. And yeah, that's it. That's the plug. That is it. I am as always Alex, and I am joined by Dylan. Hi, Dylan.
Hey, Alex. Hey, guys. I'm snowed in here in Colorado. It's terrible. I'm depressed, but
You're
for
snowed
many
in
reasons.
in
I am
January
snowed
and
in.
February. It is February.
Yeah, it
Oh
is
my
February.
god.
I'm snowed in. It's terrible. My mom was like, "Oh, it's gonna be 12 inches." I was like, "That's not fun." And it turns out it's only like 6 or 7. That's still not fun.
No.
Um, it's very windy. So yeah, I'm stuck indoors. Yesterday was Valentine's Day. I hope everybody had a very lonely and terrible Valentine's Day, much like me. Um, all that good jazz. I did write about the Bloody Valentine, Megumi Kudo, Alex's least favorite wrestler because he's an idiot. Um, I wrote about her and all of her best opponents and matches over at the 5-Star on the 5-Star website. So go check that out. Check it out on the Twitter because I forget if we ever got the Google thing sorted out. So go check out the 5-Star Twitter and you can find it over there.
Yeah, or
It's a
just
good
go to
article in my opinion.
5starnetwork.co.
.co. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I take umbrage to you saying Megumi Kudo is my least favorite wrestler ever when Kyoko
You
Inoue
have a
literally
lot of
exists.
you have a lot of least favorite wrestlers.
Like Kyoko Inoue, Jay White, like they exist still.
But I think one of the first times I ever actually got upset with one of your opinions was when you said, "Oh yeah, Megumi Kudo's pretty shit. She's overrated." I was like, "That's just not okay with me." Like that's not because I I don't hate Jay White. I think Jay White gets a bad flack. I mean, I've watched a lot of his bad matches, so I get it. But he has a higher ceiling than some people think. But I don't care if you dislike him. I don't care if you dislike Azumi. Whatever. But
I'm
Megumi
not sure
Kudo.
about that one. I think Azumi might cause arguments.
Oh, it does. No, because you've also called Azumi overrated before, and I've also been upset. But I'm just like, okay, she'll prove it eventually. But Megumi Kudo's retired, so her body of work is in stone now, except for that one Shark Tsuchiya match she did 2 years ago. That was fucking dope. Shark Tsuchiya, may I remind you, has one leg. She lost a breast to breast cancer and she lost a leg to diabetes, and she still performed a wrestling match 2 years ago. Fucking legend, let me say. Megumi Kudo as well. She didn't lose those parts of her body, but she's also a legend. Um, but yeah, I take I am very protective of Megumi Kudo in a way. I'm like, nah,
Right.
you can't talk bad about her, and you have before, and I still remember that. Yeah, that's how you know. Not remember this. That's how you know I'm like, that ain't right.
Yeah. I didn't even remember vocalizing this thought about Megumi Kudo, but I must have if you remember it. But I'm sure. Listen, I'm sure she doesn't care. I'm sure she's fine. Um. Anyway, speaking of retired wrestlers,
Man, fuck you.
what
I
did you want
hate
me to
you.
do? What did you want from me? I have to transition to this somehow.
Oh man.
Um, so it was announced late last week that Himeka will be retiring from pro wrestling at the Yokohama Arena show. So a lot of stuff kind of makes sense now. With her, we had kind of noticed that Micah was being slowly but surely presented as the better of the two. In the team and
Yeah.
in DDM, like she was very clearly being moved into the slot behind Julia. And we were just kind of like, oh, maybe they've just decided Micah is more popular or whatever. But obviously now it's because they've probably known for a little while that Jumbo was going to hang it up in April. And so she announced that there was like a very abrupt press conference announced. Like I had woke up and everything was fine. I had a DM from Jordan about Twinks. Um, and then I just see these tweets about, oh, Himeka's retiring, and I was like, what happened? I went from Twinks to retirement? Like, how does this
It's
work?
an abrupt shift.
Yeah. So I it happened really out of nowhere, and it's kind of been interesting because this is for a lot of people, this is like their first like abrupt
Yeah.
retirement since becoming a Stardom fan because obviously like Arisa Hoshiki was before kind of the COVID break. Leo Onitaki was before then, Kagetsu, Hazuki. Itsuki Hoshino, hers was really weird. Like most people didn't see her and they were just like, who's this woman that's retiring? Um, whereas Himeka is like the first person who they've probably seen in Stardom and kind of seen grow in Stardom that's just retired out of nowhere. And it's been really interesting to see people just lose their minds because I was like, yeah, we used to have this like every 6 months. Like somebody used to
Oh
get on
yeah.
the microphone after a match and you'd want to tackle them. Like the fear of God would be put in you every time they got on the microphone. Um, so yeah, it's weird that it's taken this long because like we used to get these so often, but now Himeka's just kind of blindsided everybody. Um, and yeah, she's gonna have an interesting retirement road anyway. That she's kind of laid out. She wants a hardcore match with Prominence, which was given a date. She wants a match with Chihiro Hashimoto, which was also given a date. And her retirement match is against Micah at the Yokohama Arena show, but
It
she's
is.
not retiring properly until the Cork in like 2 weeks later. That's when her ceremony is. So she's got it all laid out. She wants to wrestle Kakeru Sekiguchi as well. I don't know when that's gonna happen. Um, there's a Seedling X in like 2 days for a match with Sekiguchi, and I was like, it'd be really funny if that was Himeka. I doubt it will be, but it would be funny. But I assume they'll get Sekiguchi in there somewhere. And I was kind of surprised she didn't bring up Takase because like
Yeah.
they were teammates and like one of Himeka's last matches in a actress was like a title tournament final between the two of them. So
Yeah, I
you'd
feel like
assume
if you
something would
talk
be
about
there.
Himeka pre-stardom, you're talking about beginning.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like that's kind of just how it is. But
yeah. It
yeah.
was Kase and Arita. Like that was it. So yeah, it's really surprising that there's no Takase.
Yeah. Man, this fucking sucks. I don't want to talk about this. This is why this is why like I was very happy that it happened on Thursday night or Friday morning or whatever it was. Because I was like, I do not want to talk about this right now, and I still don't want to talk about it because it makes me sad. You're right. This is the first time that we've had a abrupt. It's not even that abrupt. It's just like surprising, I guess. A young retirement in Joshi, in fact, in a minute. Because like I feel like there's been a lot of hiatuses lately, but the most memorable retirement of the past few. Well, I guess Ice Ribbon. I don't watch Ice Ribbon. There's a bunch of fucking retirements in Ice Ribbons. It feels like.
Yeah. Even
Um,
then, that's been like a year pretty
it's been a
much. I
minute.
know I
Like
know
I feel
Yuki
like
Mishiro was a few months ago, but even then, like she's not really on the level of, Squishy
no,
if
like
you can call
I
her in
think
the quotes.
I think the only person I'm like thinking of is Kiaru, and she was supposed to retire a year before that. So like
Mm.
it's been quiet for retirements lately, and it did bring back a little. And this is gonna sound very dumb to some people. It brought back a little PTSD of like, oh no, it never comes alone. You know what I mean? Like that was my immediate thought. I was like, it never comes alone. So I'm really worried who else will retire. But also, I'm just sad because Himeka is one of my favorite wrestlers.
Hmm.
Obviously, she's one of my favorite tag wrestlers in the world. Like, period. Her and Mike are just so good. She waited until like for me, like completely like dodged all of the mid allegations because like she had a rough 5 star and then she was like, "You know what? I'm gonna go fucking crazy in this tag league, and I'm just gonna become the best tag team wrestler you've seen ever." So I was like, "Motherfucker!" Of course, she decided to retire right after that. Um, yeah, I'm sad. I have other things to say, but that's all that's coming to my brain right now.
Yeah, that's fair. I think it's really nice that she's getting to retire um, against Micah on
Yes.
like the biggest Stardom show that's ever happened. Like I think that's really cool for her. Um, Micah definitely didn't want to see her go, but in some ways, Micah benefits the most from this because she gets freed up to do a lot more. Um, and
But I also
obviously,
kind of can. She gets free up to do a lot more, but she also gets like she can't be a tag team champion now. Like who's her partner? Like Lady C.
yes, probably.
She's never winning the tag belts again. Well, I mean, not never, but like unless there's a massive change for her. I know I was talking with Widescreen about maybe if one of the one of the new trainees is a bit more of a power wrestler, they can like Mike could take her over under her, tutelage, and that would be
Mm,
probably good for both of them. Uh, Especially if depending on what they do with Lady C, because that's all weird right now. We didn't watch the show, but she looked like she joined DDM, and then she's like, "No, I'm just doing what I want to do, bro. I'm still in Queen's Quest." So that makes no sense. But yeah, I mean, it helps Micah in a singles route, right? Because like they kind of have no choice but to have her at the number two of DDM because she is the second strongest in DDM,
mhm.
but especially with Himeka gone. But if they don't want to give her any belt, or if they don't want to give her any, thing to grasp onto, she's not going to have the tag team division to fall back on, which is a shame. But I'm sure they can figure it out for her.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, Stardom does lose like one of their best tag teams as well in this. I mean,
Yes.
Mahime were ridiculous, and the fact that they never got, an extended run with the tag titles is a real shame.
You know what
Um,
really hurts
what?
is that I jinxed this shit so bad
Yeah.
because I was like, oh, they kind of remind me of the Golden Pair, who retired at 25 and only had one tag reign.
Yeah.
But I think they'll surpass that, and then they didn't. That's crazy. Oh, man. That was terrible. This also just it does remind me of, like, the old school stuff, of the old school Joshi way, because obviously retiring at 25, 5 years into your career is a bit of an old school tradition. Not a bit, it was literally the mandatory, way to go out back in the day. So, I think a lot of people compared it to a lot of, like, old retirements. I saw Bison Kimura get brought up, which I kind of think makes sense because it does feel like, damn, she if she just if Himeka held on for like 2 more years, she probably could have gotten like a white belt in her. Like she realistically could have.
Mm.
Um, which is a shame, but it happens. And I feel like the same thing was with Bison, even though she did win the white belt back in the day. She definitely could have been like she definitely could have been featured very prominently in the big matches that were about to happen. And obviously, we can only talk about this in speculation since she hasn't even retired yet. But it feels like she had more to it, but she just didn't really. And her reasons make sense. It's like mentally and physically, wrestling takes a fucking toll on you,
Mm.
and I think it especially took a toll on Himeka. So you know,
Yeah. It always
getting
kind
out
of
while
had
he's
it.
still alive is good.
It always kind of had it in the back of my mind that she would be like the first of the golden generation to drop, especially after that like lengthy back injury.
Yeah,
Um, because I mean,
where she said she
physically,
wanted to retire.
yeah, like physically, something like that's gonna take something out of somebody as tall as her. So I always thought that she would be kind of the first one to go. Um, I remember those photos going around last month of her with like a knee brace on after doing a meet and greet, and I was like, yeah, she's probably not like she's probably not in the best of shape. So I can understand her kind of, saying, "Look, I've done this for 5 years. I've been in Stardom, which is like the pinnacle of Joshi at the moment. Um, I, she probably didn't see herself going much higher. Like if she herself probably thought she had like a red belt in the future, I feel like she might have stuck it out. But
I don't know. I feel like the way that she talked about it was very interesting to me
I don't know.
because I don't know. I feel like nobody admits defeat in wrestling, even if they're retiring. And she just
Yeah.
completely admitted defeat, where she's like,
Mm,
I do not have what it takes to be a champion in this company. Like, I just don't. Nobody says that. Like, even if it's Cope, if it's like, oh, well, I'm retiring, and I wouldn't have won it anyway. Like, that's I feel like that's different from what she said. Like, she said, man, I see the mental toll that it takes on Julia, and I saw the mental toll it took on Shuri,
yeah.
and I saw the toll it took on my friends. I can't do that shit. So
Mm,
what am I doing if I can't do that, right? That's kind of how she said it, and she even said it to Rossi, and Rossi just looked at her very upset. Like, and that was also something I noticed, that Rossi seemed very disappointed in this retirement. He's been through a lot of retirements, and I've seen him go through a lot of retirements. But he felt like he looked a bit more, and he's not emotional. Like, you can like, his face is basically the exact same at all times,
yes.
but I could just see the look of disappointment in his eyes as he was like saying, "Yeah, she's done." And I'm just like, "Huh." I feel like Himeka has like looks at herself very less than like everybody else looks at her, which is when you're when you're in the limelight at all times as a pro wrestler, you're going to have some of those problems to some degree.
Hmm.
So I get it, but it is a bit sad.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look, it's disappointing whenever a cool wrestler retires. And especially when it's kind of out of nowhere, when they're like really at the peak of their work as well. Um, to me, it's always kind of like retirements are kind of a two-sided thing though, because yeah, somebody is gone, but now there's another spot that you get to see filled, and I always think that's interesting. Like, how do you fill this Himeka-sized gap in the roster? And that can kind of be fun sometimes, right? Like, who gets to be that Himeka now? So it's like it's disappointing that she's going, and it's disappointing, obviously, that one of the best tag teams in Stardom is going to split. There's also going to be somebody that has to fill that spot, and seeing that happen is going to be fun. So like there's the bad and good with it, obviously, and like her retirement road is going to be so good. Like at least she
Yeah,
gets a retirement road, whereas a lot of people, like Reese Hoshiki never got that. And I always default to her because hers was like the most
it
heartbreaking
was
retirement
weird.
ever. Like,
Yeah,
some wrestlers don't get what Himeka is going to get. And I think her getting a really cool retirement road is also, a nice way to send her off instead of just her going, okay, guys, my knee is fucked. Like, I'm calling it a day, right? Like, what we're getting is so much better.
for sure. And I mean, like, I will just say that, like, she obviously, there's a disagreement on what the best show on the Supreme Fight card was. Obviously, Mirai and Hashimoto was really, really great. I think it was great. It's one of the best matches of the year. But I will say, her going out with one of like the best tag team matches in Stardom in years, in my opinion, is kind of
One of
like
the probably
absurd.
the best tag match since the last time Mahime had a great tag match, which was with Julia and Siri that time. Remember? That was one of the
I,
best tag
I
matches.
that tag match has a lot of contention. A lot of people, including me, I remember I was like, "Oh yeah, that was really good," and nothing more.
Dude,
Like, I
nah,
like, but
you really have to rewatch that.
you felt the same way, and then you rewatched it like 2 months later. You're like, "Dude, why did we not talk about this?"
No,
I
I'm
was like,
pretty
"Cause we
sure
hated it."
I rewatched it not long after because I did a review, and I remember for the review, it was when I bumped it up.
You know what? No, you know what it was? Was that we recorded the podcast like a day after, I think, and we
Hmm.
were like, "Oh, this was like all right," and then like 3 days later, you had to do the review, and you were like, "Oh, this is actually good."
Yeah.
I want to retract my statement.
Yeah, I compared it to like an AJW style tag, I'm pretty sure, because it was that crazy. Like they really went batshit in that one.
Yeah.
Um,
Stardom is fucking losing so much without Mahime. I'm gonna be real.
I mean, look, they're one of the best tag teams they had. You know, I would put Seven Up above them, and that's probably it. Like in terms of the
On a
active tag teams,
consistency level, oh, for sure.
yeah, like that's it. Like Seven Up are better, and that's it. Like there's nobody, even Meltier, and I think Meltier were pretty great, but they're not. You
I
know,
mean,
they weren't as good
I
as
don't think
Mahime.
FWC. You know how much I love FWC. I don't think they hold a candle to them as a
No,
tag team.
no,
Like
definitely
I just
not.
think Mahime just is quite literally one of the most perfect tag teams.
Hmm.
Like they I don't know. It's funny how much they tick all the boxes when they are like the same archetype, but they still just find a way to be like, no, we're like the most well-rounded tag team. It's like we might do basically the same moves, but we are the most well-rounded tag team in this company. Outside of Seven Up, because Seven Up is on a fucking run right now.
Mm.
So
Seven Up has
I'm very
carried
happy.
Stardom for like four
Oh
months now.
yeah, no,
Like
this
it's
this entire
incredible.
year, people don't understand. You and Nanae Takahashi are far and away on the calculator, not just in my opinion. They are far and away the best wrestlers in the world right now.
Mhm.
Like nobody holds a candle. It's great.
Yeah, very much so. Just a few more details of the Himeka retirement road. So her first like big retirement match is on Stardom and Showcase Volume 4, which is on the 26th of February. This is a hardcore match. It's DDM versus Prominence, Julia Maika Himeka versus Risa Sera, Suzu Suzuki, and Kurumi Hiragi. Um, she then gets her requested match with Chihiro Hashimoto, and this answered our question from last week of face that isn't Amisore. Please don't let it be Amisore, and it is Himeka. So Himeka will
You know what?
wrestle Chihiro Hashimoto on March 4th at the finals of the Triangle Derby.
That is obviously a better match, but I will say, uh, you wrestled against Amisore. They were paired
Did
off in the
it was great.
triangle derby. Phenomenal.
Yeah.
So I was like, maybe Amisore could get a good like
No.
maybe Hash could get a good match out of Ami. But I think Hash might be a bit too like slower paced.
Yeah.
And Amisore does not work like that.
No.
Like that would be bad.
No. Definitely not. No. Himeka versus Hashimoto will be like 10 times
It's
better.
100% better.
That
Yeah.
might be one of the best matches of the year, but when all is said and done. um, And then Micah or Himeka's last match, as she kind of asked for, is on the Yokohama Arena show, and it's against Micah. So they're running back that GP draw, which you raved about, and I'm sure they're gonna go all out for this one, given it's gonna be their last match together. Um,
I mean, it again, not to, you know, cheap plug my article again, but the best match that both Megumi Kudo and Combat Toyota ever had was in Combat's last match, right? And they were the
mhm,
tag team, and they were, that's one of my favorite matches of all time. I think that like the stakes of a retirement match are huge, right? Like in a weird way, even though they aren't. I mean, same with Kagetsu and Mako, right?
yeah.
One of my favorite matches of all time. This is one of the first times I'll ever be able to see a retirement match live in Joshi wrestling.
Oh
It's the
yeah.
first time a lot of people will,
Yeah.
because there's always been tape delay for the most part. Uh, so yeah, we'll see. I'll probably cry like a fucking baby. I'm gonna be real. I'm not probably. I am going to cry like a baby. Like I know that much. I almost started crying when I thought Himeko fucked up her knee 2 weeks ago. I'm just actually gonna like I'm gonna be bawling my eyes. I don't know if I'll be able to see the screen, but I am really excited for it. They couldn't have picked a better retirement match for him. So let's get on this retirement road, shall we?
Alrighty. Um, Yeah. So, in non-Jamaica news, and this is a bit of a pick me up. So Stardom has announced what the women's pro wrestling Muscle Japan decisive battle is going to be between Saya Ida and Chanyota. So, the first match they're going to have is an arm wrestling contest. Then they're going to have a wrestling match, and then they're going to have a pose off.
Is that a pro wrestling match
Yes.
are they
Uh,
gonna shoot?
well, I mean, I hope it's not shoot because Chanyoda would kill Saida. um,
Yeah.
and then they're gonna have a pose off. So we're gonna get so much comedy out of that. That is amazing. Um, so yeah, Stardom Showcase Volume 4 is insane. You've got like
It's looking good.
the crazy DDM prominence hardcore match. You've got Saida and Chanyota doing this shit. You've got a Captain's Fall match with Club Venus and Cosmic Angels, which is really interesting. And you've got Momoka Hanazono in a Falls Count Anywhere match. Like, what more could you want from
Natsu
life?
is also in that.
Oh yeah, Natsu Sumire. Like, that's such a crazy show.
And Hanan, the greatest straight man in professional wrestling, and Azumi are like it's perfect. It's a great card.
Yeah,
It's a great looking card.
it's a great show. Um, No, I don't think there's any other news. They've announced like there's a few shows that have been announced, but that's really it. Like they're doing a homecoming for Utami, which I think is her first one in a while. Um,
Yeah.
they released new packs of the Stardom Card Party. They are so smart with Stardom Card Party. They have rolled out the factions like bit by bit, so people are like spending to get all the cards, and then a week later there's a new faction to spend money on to buy cards. Like they're gonna make so much money off this thing. It is not even funny. Like
You know who I've seen the most about Card Party from?
me?
Lady C.
Oh.
And I don't think she's just doing it for advertising. I think she's hooked. I think she's really hooked.
Probably. Yeah. The entire roster is like, please trade with me, please. Like,
I saw that with Julia. I
yeah,
saw Julia do that.
yeah,
She's like, "Hey guys, I don't usually don't usually ask for your help, but I only got threes.
yeah. She's like, can I get cool cards? And I'm like, you're gonna give me something in return. Like, this isn't. You're not getting freebies
This
here.
is
Uh,
this must be a mutually beneficial
yeah,
agreement."
yeah. Most of the trades are.
Julia.
The trades are really funny because there's like stands who will have like 60 cards of one wrestler, and you're like, you are not giving me a single one of those. Like, you could offer them a card that they do not have, and they're just like, no, I don't want it. Like, I don't. I'm not doing it. I want my 60 cards of Natsupoi, which is totally fair. Like, I want more Natsupoi cards too. But here we are. Um, but yeah, I think that's all the news from the world of Stardom. Himeka retiring is obviously the big one, but we have 2 months still with Himeka to enjoy her. So I think we'll just get into the review section, shall we?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So the first show to review was Stardom Triangle Derby 1 in Jotsu. This is on February 11th. I believe this is a holiday according to the Stardom thingy, which would make sense. So they had 602 people here, which is a complete sellout, which is really cool. What wasn't really cool is nobody cheered. Not a s-
Dude, why?
not a
Why was that a thing?
not a single person in this audience was cheering, and I don't know if they
Well, no,
like.
no. Let's get it right. At one point during Himeka and Koguma doing the Kuma bit, somebody went, "Yeah!" in the crowd.
Yes.
It's true.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the only vocal participation of this entire show.
Oh my god, this just like drained the life out of me. Like,
There were fine matches.
yeah,
I only watched a few of them. There were solid matches, but like it was just like the only reason I was like, "Oh, well maybe this weekend will be interesting because it'll be the first like smaller show that we get to hear cheering on." And we didn't.
no. Yeah. We got nothing. It was really bad. Um, yeah, because remember I said that like Classmates versus Unique Glare was made better by cheering. The opposite goes for all of these matches, right? Because they were very similar, but they had clap crowds, so they weren't good, you know? Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, this show just kind of drained the life out of me and pretty much most everybody that watched. But we will power through it, I guess. The opening match was Starlight Kid and Ruaka beating Miyu Amasaki and Lady C. The other teams in the match were Mina Shirakawa and Mariah May, and the team of Tekla and Mai Sakurai. So that was a four-way tag. Ruaka got the win in 10 minutes with a freezer bomb on Miyu Amasaki. Um, I'm sad to report that the Club Venus dance does not eat nearly as much without Zybrookside. It just doesn't work. Please get a third member again so I can feel whole. The match itself was fine.
I didn't watch it, but
Okay.
I do need to explain something. So on Twitter, after all the Himeka hysteria, that's a good one on my behalf, I will say. After all the Himeka hysteria, somebody mentioned that it's like, oh yeah, just so you guys know, Miyu Amasaki, Kevin, also made sure everybody knew that she only plans on wrestling for 5 years, going up until she's 25. Obviously, she's 20 right now, or
Which-
maybe she's turning.
What's funny is
She turned
that
21.
turned out to be a lie because she straight up said she wants to wrestle until she's 30. So
I remember that now,
yeah. It
motherfucker.
was where she revealed she's
Um,
British, and everybody just combed over the whole "I want to wrestle for 10
yeah,
years" because they were like, "You're
I
British?
I
What?"
remember that.
Yeah. So
She It's funny because she wasn't British, she just went to school in the UK for a few years, but that equals British, you know
yeah.
how it is. Um, that kinda fucked up my bit,
Sorry.
but the reason we call Kevin Kevin is because much like Kevin Arnold in the hit series The Wonder Years, it'll get canceled prematurely. But,
Wow.
it didn't work because it's 10 years, that's enough time.
Well,
It
she
doesn't.
might retire early. She kind of disappears every 2 weeks. She might just get sick of it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you can hold out hope.
I was thinking about that bit since last night too, man.
And
I can't believe the internet lied to me. They never
yeah,
do that.
it was really weird because there was no source of it for it or anything. Everybody was like, "Where did you see that?" Like,
That
nobody
is
ever
crazy
mentioned that.
because the thing is that like I was thinking, I was like, huh. A lot of wrestlers say this. Like
Yeah.
Himeka definitely said, "Oh yeah, I'm only wrestling until I'm
Hmm.
25." Like long ago. Like this is not a new
No.
thing, but everybody forgot it. And I was like, my trust issues started kicking in. I was like, I need to find out every wrestler who has ever said that to make sure I am prepared for this bullshit, right? And then I saw Miyu Amasaki. I was like, oh, okay, I don't really care that much, but that's interesting. Okay, and so man, let's just bazinga bazinga. Let's move on. Come on.
Okay. So the next match on the show was Himeka, Maika, and Julia beating Hazuki, Koguma, and Saida. Maika pinned somebody with a side buster. So
It was Ida, and it was with the package pile driver cock tease. Do you remember that move?
no.
So Kevin Owens, because he couldn't use the package pile driver, he started doing the package pile driver side slam, and everybody got really upset because they're like, "You're just fucking teasing us. Do the package pile driver." Micah does that now, and it's called the Micah Buster. It's cool.
All right. Okay.
She actually
Yeah.
makes it look. She makes it look
Of
pretty dope.
course she does. She's Maika. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So this match was fine. Um, it started great with comedy. Everybody surrounded Hazuki and Julia and did the Kuma bit. The referee even got involved. They were like running around in a circle chanting Kuma like it was a cult. Um, and
It is a cult.
and then Himeka never tagged in again, and it was just Micah.
That was so funny. I was like, "Damn, motherfuckers in Jotsu are like, oh, we got tickets to the last Jamaica match in this entire in this city.
Mm,
Oh my god, I can't believe I'm gonna get to see her throw a lariat one more time," and she didn't.
yeah.
She did one move, and it was a shoulder tackle while somebody else was tagged in. It was crazy. I was like, "Damn, those motherfuckers are."
Yeah,
That's something right there.
definitely. The next match then on the show was a triangle derby match. It was Momokogo, Hanan, and Mayu Iwatani of H&M beating Yuko Sakurai, Rina Amakura, and Waka Tsukiyama of Lollipop. Hanan pinned Waka Tsukiyama with a backdrop driver in what was H&M's first win of the tournament. So
Woo!
Hanan getting their first win. I know she's not like focused on right now, but that's obviously important. She got their first
I mean,
point.
she graduates in a month,
Yeah,
in like a week,
yeah.
so
Get ready. Get ready,
we might be
folks.
seeing a big, yeah, might be a big summer for Hanan.
Yeah.
Starting to think Saki might be the worst member of Colors. I'm gonna be real,
Oh,
because
easily.
like I watched this
Yeah.
match and I was like, oh, Yuko is really
Dude, I
underrated.
really like
She
Yuka.
can go.
Yeah, I love Yuka. She's
Yeah,
really
I
good.
mean, I've always known Rina could go, right? Like she's just good. Um, but Yuka, I was like, oh, she can. She holds a match together for real. And I was like, damn, I think Saki might be might be the worst. I was like, damn, that's a wild thing to just come to, but that's where we're at. So yeah, um, shout out to Lollipop. They're actually really good, I will say.
Yeah, no, they're a
I think
perfect team.
if and when Waka gets kicked from Cosmic Angels, I think that I don't really care outside of her teaming with Colors because I feel like Waka also made Saki look better.
Mm.
in the tag league. So I'm just like, damn, Waka and Colors is the combo I want. I don't really give a fuck about Waka and Cosmic Angels, but it's gonna suck because Colors is, you know, what I mean, like that's the only part I care about at this rate.
Yeah, no, she works really well with Chorus Crew, which is obvious given that that's where she trained originally. But you
Yeah,
know, it's yeah, it's nice to see her with them, and
if she waited for like 2 more months, she would just be in Colors.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, because I said it like early in the tournament. I was like, Amikura and Sakurai just like are perfect for Waka, and
Yeah,
this
yeah,
tournament has just gone so well for all of them. So yeah, I thought they were really good in this. H&M were pretty chill.
yeah.
The match after that then was a triangle derby match. It was Saki, Natsupoi, and Tam Nakano beating Momo Watanabe, Saki Kashima, and Natsuko Tora. Natsupoi got the win for her team after reversing the revival attempt from Saki Kashima. So, yeah, it was all right, I guess. I don't know, man. Listen, Saki is Saki. um,
Yeah, I was like, there's too many dull members of this team of this match. I'm not watching
that's
it,
disgraceful, but I don't blame you, to be honest.
especially without cheering.
Oh yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you
There
know,
was
like
there was
Natsuko can
a
go up 7 levels with
Yeah,
cheering.
like there was admittedly a fun bit where Oedo Tai was working over Cosmic Angels, and they got like, you know how the people in the crowds, they'll bring like, they look like paddles almost, but they use them to like celebrate their
Yeah,
wrestler, and they just,
they're fan signs. They're
yeah, and
fan
they just started
signs.
like beating the shit out of
We're gonna talk about that later.
Okay, yeah, so they started like beating the crap out of Cosmic Angels with one of those, and like broke it and gave it back to the people, and I was like, that's really funny. Like masters of crowd interaction. That is Oedo Tai.
Oh,
They are so
100%.
fun.
We didn't even get to see them with the Oedo Tai family
Oh yeah.
because that was on the show
Oh,
after.
were they back again? Oh,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
so
they
cool.
were.
That's lovely. Um,
They were. Oh, and they had the whites on.
oh
They were
my
like gold
God.
ship. They had like, yeah, they were in the
It's
gold ship gear.
incredible. Oh my God. Sonny, why didn't you get this up?
I think.
Sonny is too busy posting
No,
on the
I think.
Meltzer boards again.
Is he?
I
Oh
don't
man,
know. Didn't he?
I need to start going to the Melter boards just so that I'm like informed on this godforsaken company.
Yeah. Because people were posting a lot. Like, I think he teased like Mirai versus Mercedes Money or something. And I was like, oh, just
Why would he do that? That is the dumbest thing I have ever heard him do,
I
and
don't
he's
know.
done a lot of dumb things.
He wants to be an insider, I guess. I mean, I guess technically he is, but I don't know. Because people send me these things, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't like trust them fully, so like, I don't know. But
He said some
he
crazy
has,
things.
yeah. But yeah. Sony,
Did I
please get
ever
up away to Thai
mention
family. What is that? What?
that me and Sonny got into an argument on Reddit about B Priestley like 4 years
Really?
ago? Yeah, because I was like, man, I am not into a Momo Watanabe, B Priestley feud. Like, I just do not want to see them wrestle. And he's like, they're not feuding, and I'm just like, okay, I still don't want to see the match. And he's like, well, it'll be a good match. I'm just like, okay, I don't know, fuck what, leave me alone.
He's a sociopath.
And
Like I'm
that
fully
was,
convinced.
yeah, yeah, just a
Yeah.
little bit.
That is your Sonny burial out of the way. We haven't buried him in months, so it's
I'm sending the Oedo Tai
All
family to
right,
you
cool.
on
Thank you.
Twitter, by
Thank
the
you.
way.
So yeah, there was no Oedo Tai family in this match, therefore it's shit. So the next
Yes.
match on the show was a triangle derby match. It was Amisore, Mirai, and Shuri wrestling to a 15-minute time limit draw with Yuna Mizumori, Yu, and Nanai Takahashi. The outsider teams have carried this tournament so hard it is not even
Oh,
like Seven
100%.
Up have had all of
I
the
mean,
best matches. They were
even think about who we just like praised. It was fucking Colors,
yeah.
dude.
Not Saki, but the other two. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
but like this was easily one of the best matches of the tournament. Like
Oh,
you and
100%.
Ami Sourei were chopping the shit out of each other. Nanai and Suri were just slapping the shit out of each other. Like this is what you do.
That shit echoed,
This is what
bro.
you do. If the crowd is only allowed to clap, you make the noise with your body. Eat the shit out of
Yes.
people. And that's what happened here. It was really, really fun. Really enjoyed it.
It's funny because people figured that out like really early
Yeah.
on when like Minoru Suzuki and like Yuji Nagata were like, "Oh, there's nobody in this arena. Let's just like make the loudest noises possible." Like just like hit each other, just like hit each other exactly where it will like just
Yes.
echo. and they just did that for
Even
12 minutes, and everybody's like, "This is the greatest empty arena
but
match I've ever
even
seen."
WWE
Why
wrestlers
have people
figured
not
that
done
out.
that?
Like I remember there was like a Rhea
Yeah.
Ripley Charlotte Flair match in the fucking empty PC where they were just laying it in, and I'm like, they get it. Charlotte Flair of all people gets it. Like, and for some reason, everybody in Japan just went back to let's just do our spots. Like, so yeah, I don't know. This was that match where it was like, fuck it, we're gonna make the noise, and it was great.
Yeah.
So
Oh, it was great. I mean, broken record, fucking 7 Up carry,
mhm.
right? Not the team. Not, I think God's Eye has been pretty solid as well. But like 7 Up has just been carrying this goddamn company. Like it's insane. It's been great, honestly. Like I'm loving it. But yeah, shout out to them. And shout out to Ami Sourei. Like I said, I thought she had a way better showing in this than, she usually does. Not that she usually has like bad showings in these trios matches. She usually has pretty fun
She's usually
showings,
fine
but
enough. Yeah.
yeah, she usually adds to the match and doesn't take away from it when she's paired with Shuri
Hmm.
and Mirai and it's this type of match. But yeah, I thought she did really well here. Mirai and you still have heat. Don't know why, but
I'm here for it.
after the match, it went to 15 minutes and you just start kicking her. I was like, oh fuck.
They need to pay that off with a match. Like I don't.
I don't know how they don't. I mean, it's possible that they give
Please don't suggest it.
Mirai and
Please,
Ami the
please, please don't do
belts.
that. Please.
I know.
Please.
I know. I was just talking and then I realized what I
Yeah,
was saying and I don't
yeah.
want that either.
It's not good.
Give it to Inaba and Mirai. Why are they in the
I
new
have
blood
no
then? Get
idea.
them get them the actual belts.
Well, it's because Melt here getting the belts back. You know, it's, you gotta promote the
Ah, I don't
music.
like
They're
that.
making more music. Like they have a CD and everything. So like
Yeah.
you gotta promote the music.
I was thinking about buying that.
Really?
Yeah, I might.
Okay.
Why not?
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean at the very least it's it's
Yeah,
memorabilia.
that's true. Actually, yeah.
Even if the songs are shit. And I love Double Frontier, so that's at least not gonna be shit.
Well, have fun with that. Um, the main event of the show then was a Triangle Derby match. It was Utami, Hayashishita, Saya Kamatani, and Azumi beating Maika Ozaki, Chairman Ram, and Maya Yukihi. Azumi rolled up, I think it might have been Ram.
It
Yeah,
was
with the
Ram, yeah.
Azumi Zushi in just under 14 minutes.
No.
What?
She went for the Azumi Sushi, sorry. Compliments to the chef. She went for it, and then they like rolled around like flailed for like a good 30 seconds and Azumi just ended up on top
Yeah.
of her.
I mean, technically, it's still the Azumi Sushi. uh,
Man, that's like saying Julia won with the lockup, but then she did 7 moves after it and then she won.
Not really, because it's still like a roll through into the same pinning position, right?
Okay, whatever. Compliments to the
Yeah,
chef.
yeah.
Compliments to the
Compliment the
chef. We
chef.
get it.
Yeah. This was a really good match. It didn't fully match the last one because nobody slapped the shit out of each other, but it was probably the first time QQ have like stretched their legs in this tournament since they had the randomly great match with Lollipop. Um,
Yeah, they had a good match of prominence. Did they?
um,
They had a good
yeah.
match somewhere.
But yeah, this was one
Uh,
of the few times they've like properly stretched their legs in this tournament, and it,
yeah,
it showed. Like they were very good. And I mean, look, Rebel and Enemy have carried, so you know what to
yeah.
expect from them.
Uh, Maya
Yeah, she was
still,
kicking the shit out of
and
Saya at one point, and I was like, "Give Maya both of the belts. Let her rock. Just give her both of them."
oh yeah, Maya and Saya did
Yeah,
great stuff together. I do find it very funny that Utami at the beginning of every year is just like, I am not doing anything other than that exchange I do with Ruaka with every wrestler in every
yeah.
tag match. She did that with Mike Ozaki. I was like, you know what? Whatever floats your boat. You're the goat.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
They really said, "It's okay. Listen, we're taking the belt off you. You can chill out for a little bit. You've been pushed for so long." And she said, "Oh, oh, bet." um. So
I will do the same 4 moves in the same sequence every
yeah.
tag me team match. Good, good, and I'm cool with it. Sometimes it hits. It was solid here. Sometimes it hits. The person it usually hits against is fucking retiring, man.
Oh my god, yeah. We're never gonna see Utami and Himeka do hot shit. Oh my god. I hadn't even thought of that.
What the
That's so
fuck,
sad.
man?
Oh no. Okay. Well, um
That saved so many tag
Oh
team
yeah.
matches over the past
When
like 3
like when
years.
Utami and Shuri were like building their match for about 6 months, and the only
Yeah,
time it was interesting was when Himeka was in there with Utami, and it was like, please just do that match
yeah.
instead.
They had that good. They had 2 solid matches last year for the tournaments, but
Mm,
regardless. Man, I'm gonna miss
yeah.
Himeka.
After this match, then Julia came out and was like, "Yo, Maya, I'm still not sure why you came to Stardom, but you want to challenge for my belt?" And Yukihi was like, "Maybe, I don't know." So,
No, it was great. The best thing I've ever heard, she's like, "Oh, is that thing important?" Or is
mm,
like, "I don't I don't know, I'll think about it, bro." And the crowd was just laughing. She's like, Am I supposed to give a shit? I don't know, guys."
yeah,
And I love that.
she was
I love
very
that.
unsure, but
Maya has, like, fucking
you
absurd
know,
levels of charisma. Like, I am just captivated every
oh
time I
yeah,
see her.
she's it. Like she's a star. It's really weird that they did the challenge already because I assumed that was the
Who
Yokohama.
is the
Yeah, I
Yokohama
assumed that
show?
was the Yokohama arena match, but if they've done the challenge already,
Do they
I assume it's not.
what if they just don't what if they just don't have a red I mean, they still have the entire fucking Cinderella, though. I feel like they have to have a red
Yeah,
belt match
they probably
before
have one on the Cinderella final because
I don't know
Cinderella final is like synonymous with like great
they usually do
red
that.
belt matches.
Yeah,
Um, I don't know
they
because
should
like
do that.
Yokohama,
Maya isn't in the Cinderella, so that
yeah,
would make sense.
but Yokohama feels like a great place for Maya versus Julia because that's where like Mayuki he was like a big deal in Ice Ribbon when they were doing well in Yokohama. So I mean, why wouldn't you put her on top against Julia, right? Like I don't know. It's just but it's so early. Like it's February now. They've done the challenge. The show isn't until March or April.
I mean, they didn't do they didn't do the proper
Well,
challenge, to be
I
fair.
guess.
It's possible that Julia fucking gets rolled up by Hazuki next week, and Hazuki's like, "Oh, I wanna challenge you immediately." And she does the challenge, and then Maya comes out and is like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, you remember how you said you wanted to challenge?" And, it's like they just straight it out.
Yeah.
'Cause, I mean, think about it, the only reason Maya is there currently is because of the
And she
trios
said that.
tournament.
She
Trios
said that
tournament
in
is ending.
promo. She was like, "Yeah, she challenged me for the belt, but
Yeah.
I'm only here for like Rebel and Enemy because they're my pals." But yeah,
Yeah, the tournament's ending. So she needs a reason to come back a month from now if she's gonna
that's
challenge
true.
for Yokohama. And they just kind of planted that seed. Because they didn't announce anything. It was very informal. I mean, they didn't even win the match. Afterwards, Azumi was like, "Can you guys get the fuck out, please?
Yeah,
Like, we won. Like, please leave."
that's great.
And my he's like, "I am so sorry. That's my bad. I'm a dip. My bad, Azumi." Oh man, yeah. But yeah, I imagine they could still do a Yokohama show
Yeah.
with it.
Well, I mean, I hope so, because otherwise I have no clue what the Yokohama match is. Um, so that is that show. The next show to review, and I have that in air quotes because they only had 3 matches up, and yeah,
I didn't watch
no.
it.
Um, so this is on February 12th. This is a Triangle Derby show in Fuji. They did 647 fans here, which is a no more tickets allowed sellout. So this is the most sold out you can be. What's interesting about that number is TJPW had a Korakuen on the 11th, and that did 657 fans.
Why you gotta be
So
like that?
they at Korakuen only did like 10 more than this Stardom show in Fuji, but for some reason TJPW is still doing the limited attendances because that
Yeah,
was a sellout, and they announced
I
that
feel like yeah that
640 or 657 as a sellout. Um, so I don't know what they're doing there, but yeah, I thought that was just interesting. Like a Stardom house show in Fuji did as much as TJPW at Korakuen.
yeah. And this was like not a loaded
No, and
house show
it got
at all.
changed because some of the matches were really weird, right? Like the opener wasn't always a handicap match, and the match after that was not always a 3-way.
There was a
Yeah,
fucking handicap
yeah. So
match.
I'll run down the results because like they changed everything. Um, so the opener was Mariah May, Mina Shirakawa, and Natsupoi beating Koguma and Hanan. Yeah,
What
so
the
Mina
fuck?
Shirakawa pinned Hanan with oh my god, slashing the medulla oblongata. Is it? That sounds like an Adam Sandler bit.
What?
That's literally sounds like a line from an Adam Sandler movie. I'm pretty sure he said
Okay,
medulla oblongata at one point.
he
Yeah,
definitely has.
like why is that the name of the move?
What the fuck happened to this? Yeah, what happened to this match?
I
Was
Yeah,
Komomo
I
not on the
assume it's
card?
Momokogo because everybody else from Stars is here, just not her. So she must have been pulled. Um,
Let's see what
yeah.
Mina hit her with. Hold on.
Okay. All
I'm
right.
just checking out the
Okay.
finish of the
This
match.
match was
She's doing the edge
oh dear.
spear gimmick. It's an enziguri.
Did she
It's
win a
just
match with
enziguri.
an Enziguri?
Yes,
What?
she won with an
How
enziguri.
does what? That is
Enziguri, yes.
crazy. All right. I mean, sure. Um, yeah. So
Glamorous sword. That's what it's called. The
okay,
glamorous
that is very
sword.
different
That's
from
the English name.
slashing the medulla oblongata.
Honestly, I prefer the slashing the medulla
It's way funnier.
oblongata.
I don't know who like works on the
Yeah.
website here, but like you keep it up, Curly. That's really funny. Um, yeah. So I like skimmed through this match earlier, and it didn't look like Mina and Hanan ever got out of the ring. Like I thought it was just a singles match with them two. Um,
She really did do the edge
yeah,
thing. I mean, the enziguri looked
yeah,
good, but like it's just crazy that that's like the. I guess that's the finish that's gonna take her to the Cinderella final.
yeah.
Holy
And
shit, that's
Enziguri,
crazy.
okay, sure. You know, the thing with Mina is she's like trying a lot of shit. Like on the four-way tag match and stuff, she was like trying lots of stuff. She's doing this like cool like jump to the rope and then kicking people now, and it's great. If she starts to hit all this stuff, she's gonna be like the best, like the most entertaining wrestler in this company. But that's only if,
It's possible.
like she's still putting it together and trying stuff, but not a lot of it looks fluid. Um, but if she starts to like get it, then yeah, this shit's gonna be crazy good. But yeah, she got the win in this tag match. Club Venus and Cosmic Angels showed no signs of like tension or anything. They all just walked out to Natsupoi theme. Um, Mina not being the centerpiece definitely was a weird look after her being like the main one in Club Venus. Um, so that was kind of interesting to note, but otherwise, there's nothing from that really. The match after that was a three-way match. It was Saya Kamatani, Tam Nakano, and Yuna Mizumori wrestling to a 15-minute time limit draw. Um, I think it says a
Why?
lot.
Is Yuna next up or something?
I
Like,
mean, I assume it says a lot about what they think of Yuna that she's been protected to this degree. Because even like in the Triangle Derby, she hasn't taken that many pins. Like they've really presented her pretty well.
yeah.
So this is another sign of that. Um, the match after that was Momo Watanabe, Saki Kashima, and Natsuko Tora beating Hazuki Saida and Maya Iwatani. Saki Kashima got the win there with what they're calling a triple single, which I think is her combo attack, isn't it?
I don't fucking
Yeah,
know.
I don't know. The match after that was Amisore, Mirai, and Shuri beating Miyu Amasaki, Azumi, and Utami Hayashishita. Mirai got the win with the Miramare submission. The match after that was a Triangle Derby match. It was Haruka Umasaki, Starlight Kid, and Rocca beating Yuko Sakurai.
Oh yeah, it's the symphony where they do all of the
Ah,
top
right,
rope
okay.
moves.
They beat Yuko Sakurai, Rina Amakura, and Waka Tsukiyama when Rocca got another pin. That's kind of interesting. She's getting like lots of pins. She's getting more than Starlight Kid. Um,
I mean, she has to wrestle the strongest team in the fucking company with
oh
somebody
yeah,
with
that's
one
true.
knee.
Yeah. Remember when everybody was like, "Oh, Starlight Kid's just gonna win the white belt," and they've just like completely cycled her down the card. They're like, You're not even allowed
'Cause
to
that's
win.
because that's because
She's
God
not
is
even
good. That's because
she's
God
not
is good,
even
Alex.
winning.
God
She
is
didn't
good,
even
God
beat
is great.
Waka here. They had Waka beat Waka here, not Starlight Kid. That is amazing. Um,
I think Kid just can't handle the walk. I think that's the realistic
yeah, of
thing that we gotta
course.
look at.
That's why she beat her in a singles match that one time.
Shut up.
um, the main event of the show then was an all DDM special. It was Mai Sakurai, Tekla, and Julia beating Lady C, Himeka, and Micah. Julia got the win with the glorious driver in under 12 minutes. So, and then they all, stood together to end the show because it might be one of the last times
This
that
is
they get to do it as
yeah.
DDM.
This is my Hime with C's final.
That is so depressing.
As far
Like,
yeah. That's why Lady C was crying
Yeah,
her
she's
eyes
such
out.
a perfect fit for them. Like, just get her into the faction now. Like, Himeka is gone. You need a tall
I mean,
lady. Like, just
even
put her there.
even her bits with my Sakurai. I don't know if you saw it on Twitter, but like Lady C was like was like doing a like she tweeted, "Oh, this is like this is like Star Wars," and she's like, "That's what my Sakurai would say." Like, or because she's just like, "Oh yeah, my Sakurai's a fucking Star Wars nerd,"
That's amazing.
and my Sakurai's like, "Yeah, you right," and I'm just like, "That's great, that's great." Like they're just homies now.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, she always got on with the DDM crew, to be fair. So it's like, I don't really.
And I mean, the thing is that Queen's Quest has always been the full homegrowns, and DDM's always been the no
Yeah,
homegrowns, right? Uh, I don't think you need to do that when there's new debuts coming in, right? Lady C can go to
yeah,
DDM and Queen's Quest can take one of the fucking trainees. Like that's kind of like the point of the bottom half
yeah,
of
pretty
Queen's Quest
much.
is they have three up top, however many on the bottom that are training under them. So it's like I don't think Lady C needs to be
She
in
never
Queen's Quest
did,
anymore,
honestly.
personally.
Like, even when it first happened, we were very like,
No,
it's an odd fit, but sure, go for it. But I mean, we were always for Lady C and DDM. Like, it always made the most sense.
yeah,
Um, so if they course corrected that, then that's fine by me. Um, Honestly, it's so funny that this show almost outdrew the TJPW Karkin because the TJPW Karkin wiped the floor with both Stardom shows. Like, it is
with
not
this
even
weekend, yeah.
funny. Like, that one TJPW show, top to bottom, just like nuked Stardom. Like, it is insane. Um,
Yeah, so I'm gonna do the segue if you don't mind. Um, so back in the day when we first started the show, we both had a both had a red button, right? Where if I asked you, "Hey Alex, do you enjoy watching Stardom anymore?" and you said no, and I said I also do not enjoy it, we would A, either just quit the podcast, or B, turn into Joshi Quest. That was what I always wanted to do. I always wanted to turn into Joshi Quest, but I'm happy I didn't because Stardom Quest is going strong. We still love Stardom, but today I am pressing the red button. This is no longer Stardom Quest. It is now Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling Quest. I
oh
couldn't.
my God,
I
it's
woo!
finally happened. We have
Yay! We're
we've
here.
defected.
We have
Right.
defected. I'm drawing TJPW in the air like fucking Bret Hart did. You know what
Yeah,
I
just a
mean?
T. Just just
Just the T.
it can be for trans people either. Like, it's. Mm.
Just drawing a unknown T in the air. What does he mean? What does he mean by this? Imagine if Bret Hart did that. Like he
He'll
just
be
wrote like S
yeah.
and just left.
Yeah.
It's like what does he mean?
Uh, this is great. What did you want to say about TJPW?
I just wanted to talk about the show. I thought it was really
Oh
fun.
yeah, um, I've said it already, but like Drew Parker and Chris Brooks is so much better as a commentary pair than what?
Alex, they're just us.
Oh my God, yeah,
That's why you like
they
it so
are.
much. Like Drew Parker missed like half the Janaya Kai match to get a Fanta, and he's like, "Oh, sorry, I was gone." And then he was like, "Oh shit, she's kicking him."
Yeah,
That's just me.
yeah.
That's just what I do
Yeah,
every week.
my favorite thing with Drew Parker is when he's like so into it that he forgets to mask his Welsh accent. Like, you start to hear his words.
He sounded
Yeah,
like a different person. Yeah, like in the main event, I was like, "Who the fuck just got there?" Like, is he doing an accent? It's like, no, that's just
yeah,
how he
he just like he's
sounds.
so into it. He's just like, oh shit, I forgot to sound British for a little bit. It's amazing. Um,
Yeah,
they're
they're just
great. Yeah,
us.
like
It's
I
great.
thought Aki and Brooks was kind of alright, but like Brooks and Parker,
I like Aki and Brooks. I think Aki brings
he's
something.
charming.
If it's not just a bit, yeah, he's yeah. But I do think Drew Parker and Chris Brooks just like have that natural, just like they're just
Hmm.
so quick with it, right? With
Yeah.
everything. And I mean, I've always thought Chris Brooks was like a way better commentator than he had any
Yes.
right to be. Um, I've always enjoyed his commentary. But yeah, I thought they did a great job. That was one of my favorite things about this entire show. Like I had to get onto DDT Universe because like my old login didn't work, and I was like, no, I
Mm.
need to hear this in English because Drew Parker and Chris Brooks probably killed it. So I need to hear it in English. So I got a login and I watched it, and I was so happy that I did, and I didn't just go with Japanese commentary
Oh
because
yeah,
they were
like they
phenomenal.
enhanced yeah,
And
like
the
they
show was
enhanced the
great.
show. Like they were that enjoyable, right? Like because the thing is, Chris knows everything. Like Chris is like clearly a fucking
Yeah,
super fan, and Drew isn't, but he's so like open to enjoying it that you just can't help but get stuck. He's like Don West, because Don West wasn't a wrestling guy, but he was like mad into it. And
it
Drew
was just
Parker
yeah.
obviously has never watched a TJPW show in his life, other than the last one he commentated on. But he's like super into it. He's like, if this is good, I'm gonna enjoy it, right? And it's just infectious. You can't help but like get into it.
Okay, one it's not a critique because I thought it fucking hilarious. But one thing, yes, Chris Brooks is a super fan of TJPW. Yes, he is a great member of the DDT roster, but he doesn't know shit about Noah. And he's failed so poorly at trying to reference a Noah thing.
Oh god.
So so this is
Hmm.
during the Yuka match, right? Yuka's beating the shit
Of
out of
course.
Suzumi, right? Um and Miyu is just like getting into the ring looking at her. And Chris Brooks is like, oh, she's about to channel Kaito Kiyomiya and like kick him in the head or kick her in the head,
Yeah.
like he did to
Okada, yeah.
Okada, right? And then he just goes, she's gonna do it for Congo. Kaito Kiyomiya is not in
Yeah.
Congo. He is the furthest from Congo imaginable, and he just realized that he was lost, and he was like, "Oh fuck, I don't know anything about Kaito Kiyomiya." But I found that great because he just went silent. He's like, "Congo?
I noticed. I
I
noticed that
don't
as well.
know."
Yeah. I didn't even like fully pick up on it, but I noticed he was like very off. He was like, Congo? Am I sure? But honestly,
That's Keno,
that's
buddy.
just what makes it. He's just fucking vibing. Like he doesn't care. Like if he says something wrong,
Yeah.
he doesn't care. Yeah, no, they're a great commentary team. That like the whole show was fun though. That you didn't watch it, but Wakana versus Himawari. It was like the kind of like rookie opener that Joshi is really good at, that I haven't seen done this well in a
Mm.
while. Like they just did forearms, did their simple stuff. It was 6 minutes, then they went home, right? And like that's entirely my shit. You know that's entirely my shit. And
Oh yeah.
Wakana is like over already. Like these people love her already. So like they've got something on their hands there. Um, did you watch? You did watch Yuki Arai and Palm Harajuku, right? Dude,
Yes,
that
I
was so
love that
funny.
shit. I
So
love
funny.
that shit so much. That was one of my favorite matches on the. I mean, actually, there was
Yes,
like a
yes.
lot of good matches on the
Top to
card,
bottom,
so it's
great
kind of
show.
like tied. Um, yeah, 100%. But this is one of my favorite matches on the card, and I made a reference. I was like, me who understands nothing about idol culture. This is just like Perfect Blue, which I don't, if you don't know, Perfect Blue is an anime about a former idol getting hunted down by a super
Oh
fan.
my god.
um, so like the contrast, I just found that so funny. But yeah, Palm used the "I am simply a fan of SKE48. Please dance for me"
Mhm.
strat. And Yuki's just like, "I am so down. You do not understand. I got the shit ready, bro. Cue it up, buddy." And they just went for it. For like 5 minutes, she did a performance. She
Mhm.
just danced. She didn't even have a microphone. She just danced.
And then Palm
Oh man.
Palm rolled her up because she is an evil bitch, and I love
Oh
that
yeah.
so much.
Yeah. And then she got the fan signs and started doing
Mm.
the drums on her. You know what I mean? And Chris Brooks with the astute observation, she turned them upside down so that the wooden handle, would hit her in the face every time she did it. Just a little bit harder than the actual fan sign. It was great. I actually loved that match. I thought it was like
Mhm.
great comedy, and I think Palm is actually an
Dude,
underrated in ring wrestler because like I haven't seen like a full
yeah.
Palm match in a while, and I was just like, oh, she is like fluid. Like she's very clean, a lot cleaner than like a
Yeah.
year or two ago. Like she's very very clean with all of her like actual wrestling stuff.
Yeah, I
It's
like
great.
Palm. She knows what she's doing and she's good at it, right? Like, and it's different. It's unique. Like a Palm match is unlike any other match
Hmm.
because she does the work in the shin thing. And ever since I first saw it, I was like, working
Yeah.
the shin is so genius. Why has nobody ever done this before? Um, but you mix that with like Yuki Arai, this like famous idol, and you make it comedic, and you're just like, this is amazing. This is so fun. So yeah, that was great. Sad to see Stardom lost Janai Kai because she's great. Um, like she was, because
Bro,
I saw her on the U.S. Indies before, and I was like, if she started like laying shit in, she'd be so good, right? Um,
I remember I first heard about her because she was a like
yes,
Kagetsu
yeah,
super
I
fan.
remember seeing that. She's a big fan of Kagetsu. And so I was always like, oh, if she went to Japan, she'd lay shit in. Like she knows what's up. And she immediately started laying shit in. She was really fun here. Um, even like and I think this was where I realized Drew Parker is amazing is because like nothing will ever put a wrestler over more than him sounding like he's about to die watching her kick people. Like he was making
Oh yeah, he
yeah,
would just
he
shriek.
was making so many noises that I was like, this is how you put a wrestler over. This is what you do. This is genius. So yeah, I mean TJPW is
I mean, Brooks was saying like, "Oh, Yuki Aino's going to
yeah,
the fucking hospital."
yeah,
Like 2 minutes into the match, like he was like, "We need
yeah.
to take care of this girl.
They
She
mentioned a
is
body bag
dying."
at one point.
And I
They were
was like,
like,
"You're
she's
right, she
literally gonna
is."
die, and I was like, this is
Yeah.
great. This is amazing. Yeah, and yeah.
Janai is one of my favorite
Oh
foreigners I've
yeah,
seen in Japan in
she's
a long time.
she's great.
Honestly, like just immediately, I was like, "This is phenomenal.
Hmm.
This works." I'm super
Oh
excited for her
yeah.
and Miyu because obviously Miyu is one of my favorites. I'm super excited for hopefully they get her against Miyu
Oh
Yamashita
my
too because
god.
I feel like they would just
Yes.
work wonders with each other. They like are I feel like that would fit like a glove. Like they
Oh
just
yeah, like
work. I think the
there's a
styles
few
just mesh
wrestlers that
perfectly.
mesh with Janai.
Um,
Sadly, Jiria is injured because I feel like Jiria versus Janai would be like crazy. But
that would
Jiria
be
is
really
out for a
fun.
few months now, which is very disappointing. TJPW though, they
Yeah.
have like absolutely eradicated Stardom with foreigners. Like I think Mariah May is
Oh yeah.
great, but I mean Trish Adora, Lily Starks, and now Janai Kai. Like like that's just top level recruitment right there. So yeah, like they really lost Io and Janai Kai there, and she's gonna do some good stuff in
100%.
TJPW. You know?
Oh, it's gonna be great. I mean, just this match, it felt like it just was so
Yeah,
good. Like
it
honestly,
made me
like
enjoy a Yuki
she
Aino
carried the
match.
match.
Yeah.
Do you not like Yuki Aino? I mean,
No, she's. I mean,
I think she's a bit bland.
yeah, she needed
You
the
know, even
sister.
like and not as a
Like without
yeah. I think like just her offense is kind of like, oh well, you could do
yeah,
more.
without
Uh,
the sister, it's like
especially because she's supposed to be a power wrestler.
yes, definitely. To be fair though, like this had Rika Tatsumi in it, so like it was always gonna be good because
Oh yeah, Rika Tatsumi's one of the smartest wrestlers like in
oh
the
dude,
world, which is
it-
straight. Like I'm not this like I never got Rika Tatsumi. Like I
yeah.
enjoyed her matches, but like she's never like really clicked with me. But like sometimes I just watch her, I was like, she just knows how to lay out a
Mm-hmm.
match and make it unique, but make it like work, right? Uh, and she did that here, where she just like knew exactly the timing. Her timing is impeccable,
Yeah.
really. She's just
Yeah,
great,
she's like
really
if you
smart.
gave her the belt and just let her defend it for like a year straight, she'd be like wrestler of the year. Like she's
Probably.
that quality. And even in this tag, like that shines through. Like she's just so good at everything. It's almost unfair. So yeah, no, I love Rika Tatsumi, and the last two matches are great as well. Like if you don't
Mhm.
want to watch the Stardom house shows, just watch this show. Like it was, like
Yep.
Magical Sugar Rabbits are up there with Mahime as like cannot miss ever. Like they're such a fantastic tag team as well. Um, and obviously like 1 to 1 million is great. Like I mean, it's Miyu Yamashita, so obviously it's excellent.
I will say that like it is so fun watching Yuka Sakazaki in both AEW and
Yeah.
TJPW because she's just a
Oh
different
yeah.
animal,
Yeah.
right? Because like she like this is this isn't gonna make sense. It's gonna sound really weird when I say it. She's cute in AEW. She is not cute in TJPW. She scares the shit out of me in
Mhm.
TJPW. Like she's just like an intimidating force that I personally am frightened by. In AEW, she's like the cutest human being I've ever seen. And like it's the same wrestler, but they are just so different. Like just the presentation. I tweeted this like a month ago. That's like this girl who did the fucking Dark Order segment that was like just like the
Oh,
most
that was
wholesome thing
so
ever.
adorable, yeah.
This girl, yeah, this girl is the world ender of
Mhm.
TJPW. And people don't get that if they do not watch her in TJPW and watch her in
Yes.
AEW. She is just it's absurd. But yeah, that was a great match. Like I said, Yuka fucking up Suzume and Chris Brooks making the reference to Mia Watanabe joining Congo and also not that was really
Yeah.
funny. And then Mia and Suzume's fucking comeback. Absolutely
Yeah,
wonderful.
Miyu is so good as well.
Uh,
She's
oh,
great. And
100%.
Mizuki is like one of the best wrestlers TJPW has ever had. So I mean, you just have
Yeah.
three amazing wrestlers in there. Like it's and it's I like somebody told me, oh, it was good, but it wasn't that great, and then I watched it and I was like, what the fuck are you talking about, you liar? Like I thought it was great. Like it was
I think
13
I think
minutes.
the thing
13
is,
minutes. That's
yeah,
all you need. You don't need to do this long shit. Just 13 minutes. Great match, right?
I think it suffered being between the Janai showcase and the main event. I think that's where I
Yeah.
was like, I can see a dip, right? Um, but I don't think it was like that much lower than either of those.
Yeah.
I would say it was just like maybe like a step behind. But yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. And then the main event, um, we have very differing opinions
I don't think
on
so, because I
on
thought it was
the
great.
no no not on the match on the participants in the
Oh,
match.
yes,
Uh,
yeah.
because I personally, and this is becoming watch teach, so listen to them. They're a bit more, on top of it than we are. I'm just talking about this company that I watch, like once or twice a month whenever a good show's on. But I love Hyper Masao to death, and I think you tweeted about it. That it's like she has a lot to give if she ever wants to not be Hyper Masao
Yes, because
anymore. Um,
my, like, intro to TJPW, I'm
and I
pretty
agree.
sure,
I agree.
coincided with her in Neo Bishikigun. So, like,
So
I
did mine.
first saw her
So did mine.
as really cool Masao, and then it was almost like she
Yes.
downgraded to the superhero thing, to me.
And I get that, and I have the same exact experience. I thought that she looked like I saw her on like Reddit or something. I was like, that is the
Mm,
coolest looking wrestler I've ever seen, and that's why I started watching TWW. Was because I was like, uh, not so hyper Masao, like evil Masao was like just she just looks
yeah.
super dope. And then she went back to hyper Masao, and I was like, oh okay, that's a bit odd. And then I went back, I watched some for like like the Jun Kasai match, the famous one, and all that stuff, and I was like, I get it. I still think that there's more to
Yeah.
be done, but I get it. I enjoy it. But like she lost her mask at some point during that match, during the
Yeah.
main event, and like she just lost like she lost the mask and she just looked at Miyu and she was like, I'm gonna fucking kill you
Oh,
now.
dude, the charisma just shoots
Like
out.
just like the way that she
Yeah.
looked at her, I was like, "Oh fuck, this is like it's Desperado
Mhm.
levels, right?" One of like two of Desperado's greatest matches were so great because his mask got ripped and he just looked at his opponent like, "Oh, now I'm gonna fucking murder you," and that was like, and then it just like climaxed from there, right? Hyper Masao, I wish she kept the mask
Mm.
off and like made it a thing because that character moment where she has lost the mask and was like, "Oh no, you shouldn't have done that," that was great, and then she put it back on when she tagged out and she didn't get back in the match, and I was like, "Motherfucker!"
Yeah. Yeah, she's really expressive, and she's, like, really
Mhm.
charismatic, so when she lost the mask, it was like she was just really engrossing, and she did that across from Miyu Yamashita, who is, like, one of the most charismatic wrestlers on the planet. Yeah. You to
Yeah,
overshadow Miyu Yamashita, you've gotta have something.
there's
Yeah.
something there. There is
Like,
something
I
there.
saw her without the mask, and I was like, this is something. Like, you could be something in this." And obviously, she is something. Like, Hyper Misao is like very popular, but it's like you could be money making top level pro wrestler. Like, um,
Yeah, and I think that's where we differ because I do really really like Hyper Misao, like even superhero stuff. I personally think that Shoku Nakajima's kind of holding her back. Just saying. Um, but I like the superhero character. I think
Mhm.
it's great, and I think it's really like wholesome, and I enjoy it. I know you aren't as big of a fan of it, but I saw that and I was like, there is more than just super evil Masao and
Yeah.
superhero Masao. There is something that can be reached here, and like she could win a fucking belt, like for real. I know TJPW doesn't really do that, where wrestlers win
Yeah.
belts that aren't well, Maki Ito barely wins belts that aren't Miyu Yamashita and Yuka Sakazaki. I know they don't really like to do that, but she could win a belt if she's like evolved
Mhm.
one more time. You know what I mean? I truly believe that. I don't think her work uh is bad at all. I think her work's also pretty solid. Like she's more technical than she needs to be sometimes, but I think her work is also pretty fun. So yeah, that's me. That's me talking about how much I love Hyper Misao and how much I think
Yeah.
that evolving from here would be even
Yeah.
better for her because she's
My
great.
takeaway from this is remember when like some dopes thought Maki Ito was like really bad?
That
She
was
was
crazy
she
because I
was
was like, that's not
yeah,
how
she
that
was
works.
balls to the wall in this match. Like she was so good. And I'm just like, how did you watch one clip of her and decide she's bad? Like she is so
I do
great.
forget just how stiff she is
Yeah, dude, the
sometimes.
forearm she was giving to Shoko.
Like,
I was like,
dude,
how?
yeah, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
oh, like and she just fucking ate Shoko alive with them. You know what I mean? Like, cause like Shoko would fire back and it just wouldn't hit the same way that Maki did. You know what I mean? Like it was just crisp. And yeah, I mean, Maki Ito, it's weird because she's the most popular wrestler, especially for foreigners in TGPW. Maki Ito kind of underrated in just her like in ring work. Because yes, she's very cute. Charisma's off the fucking charts, but like people look at her and Miyu Yamashita, as like okay, here's the like character and here's the wrestler.
Mhm.
When it's like Maki Ito is a fucking wrestler, bro. Like she is dope, especially on like her good days. Because obviously every wrestler has a bad day every once in a while, and I get that some people have seen. Like I think the issue was that like people got really into Maki Ito when COVID started,
Mhm.
right? There was no crowds, and I remember she had a really rough adjustment into there being no crowds, especially compared to like some of the other people in the company. And I think people saw that, and then she like came to AEW, and she had some good stuff, but you know, it wasn't
Well,
like
yeah,
groundbreaking.
they
Everybody was like,
tasked
ah,
her
she's gonna
with
do
like carrying the dentist. Like, what did they expect from her?
that was
Like
crazy.
that, like, and she had the match with Riho that was like really chill, and you're like, would you not judge off that
Yeah.
and not a Britt Baker match? And Britt Baker's like got better since then, but at that point she was still rough, you
Uh,
know. So like,
yeah.
it was so insane. Like they just rushed to judge Maki Ito, and she's proven them wrong every step of the way. Like she's had the majority of like the top 10 matches in TJPW history at this stage.
Yep.
Like, and this, I don't know if this is a top 10 in TJPW history. Like, I wouldn't,
I wouldn't
yeah,
put it
but
in a
like
top 10,
she's been in
but
them. Like
it's
she's
really
had
good.
some of them.
Yeah.
And yeah, like this was a great match. Definitely like Maki Ito was like the star of the show. But you know, Miyu did her thing as well because she's Miyu, and you know, for a 25-minute match, it definitely didn't feel like it, which I don't normally say as a Stardom fan because we feel every minute of those 25-minute matches sometimes. Um,
I feel like the only time I started to like notice the time was that like I was like, damn, Shoko and Maki have been in here for a
yes,
minute.
yeah, and
You know, was
the
and
second
it's like
heat segment was
you know,
probably not needed. They did two facing
yeah.
perils, and I was like, all right, you could have done without that, but it was a great match either way.
But I don't think it made it worse by
No,
any means.
definitely not. Not like, but I mean, on a weekend where Stardom would have drained the life out of me, it was great to have this show. Like this, like I just enjoyed
Mhm.
myself so much watching this, and maybe it's because I don't have to do a podcast every week on TJPW. But it's just such a like free, freeing, exciting, fun thing to watch.
Well, no, and I feel like that about a lot of Cyber Agent, right? Because I have no, not that I have an obligation to watch New Japan, but like it's just something that
Yeah.
I do at this point. Is that like when there's like a big New Japan show, I watch it, and you know I basically cover New Japan for Wrestling Inc. at this point, uh, especially on for the weekend shows at least. So like I kind of am like I keep up to date with it very regularly, but like with TGPW and Noah, and to some degree DDT, I haven't been watching as much, but with the cyber agent stuff, it really is like just like okay, I have time. let me check this out, and I just have fun. You know, what I mean, not saying that watching other wrestling isn't fun, but like it's very non-committal fun. And it's like, oh, I can watch this Noah show, enjoy it, and not watch another Noah show for 6 months, and I won't be upset. But in 6 months, when I want to watch a Noah show, I'll probably enjoy it.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like it's fun, and that's how I feel about TJPW and DDT. So yeah, this is a big ad for Cyber Agent
Yeah.
or Cyber Fight,
Anyway,
I
listen to
guess.
Watch Tej because they do a lot more
Yes,
TJPW stuff than us. Um,
they're a bit
yeah,
smarter than
can't
us about
can't
this type of
promise
thing.
we'll ever talk about TJPW again unless we eventually become famous enough to have a Patreon that makes money. But until then, that was TJPW. Good promotion. Maki Ito, good. Rika Tatsumi, amazing. Janai Kai, cool. And who was the other person that I said was great?
Palm
Palm's
and
great. Rika
Yuki.
Tatsumi would be wrestler of the year. So good stuff.
Honestly, like I don't watch a ton of TGPW. Every time I watch, it feels like everybody's gets
Oh
way
yeah,
better.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like there was definitely there was this narrative about TGPW for a long time that's like, oh well, like half of the roster is
Hmm.
incompetent, and I never thought that was fully true. But there was like very clear skill gaps
Yes.
between a
Yeah.
lot of wrestlers. And there still is to some degree, but I think that everybody has gotten better just in the past few years, like since I've been watching, and that's great to see, and I love
Yeah,
seeing
even their new trainees are like a step above some of the older wrestlers. Like I feel like
it.
Wakana is already better or on an equal level to somebody like Haruna Neko. Um, somebody like Juri Nagano is like so much more interesting than yeah,
She's
like she's
dope.
like so much more interesting than like a Yuki Aino already. So they already they're producing these great talents and it's really just like lifting the quality of the entire promotion. But definitely everybody's like gotten better as well at the same time. Which I mean is gonna happen. People are sticking around a lot longer there and they're working more, so obviously they're gonna get better. So but yeah,
Mhm.
it's.
The only star drone, as CM Pulse called me, the only Stardom drone Bushi bro comment that I have to make is Arisa Endo should go to Stardom. That's my only comment.
Yeah, it's
Just because I want to see her. That's
we
the only one. Like I get it. I
yeah.
get that that sounds really shitty of me, but I just think she would be so dope
Yeah,
in
she
Stardom.
would. We'll even do a trade. Like TJPW,
Oh yeah,
you
100%. You
guys can
could
get
take
Kevin.
pretty
They
much
can have
anybody.
Kevin. I think Kevin and TJPW
Yeah, yeah, for
works.
sure.
Um,
It
yeah,
would.
or
Yeah,
you guys can have like actually a Saida and TJPW run would go crazy. So
that would be great. I feel like she would like actually be a
she would
star
be
in
international.
TGPW.
She'd
Like
be
she can.
international princess champion, and she would face like a bunch of cool foreign wrestlers.
Plus, then we get Aja versus.
Oh
Okay,
bless! Oh
give
my god!
Saya leave, leave.
Oh my
Saya
god,
leave. Get
dude!
the fuck out,
Yeah,
please.
yeah. We're gonna have to talk about TJPW again next week because Aja Kong is gonna murder Yuki Arai. So
Oh my
yeah,
god, yes. Oh fuck.
yeah,
This has not become a
yeah.
TGPW
That's it.
podcast. It's not. We
Teach quest,
promise.
teach
We
quest. No.
promise. It's
All right.
not
Yeah.
going to.
No, because we have to talk about the
But
Cork and
that does sound like a match we need to
we will
mention.
have to talk about like Cork and Stardom and Showcase. So anyway.
Oh shit! You know what we didn't? There's one more thing we
Oh
have to
what?
talk about for this week. Mercedes is winning the belt this weekend.
Oh yeah, that video she has hyped. Like, way to give it away. Did you see it?
Did she? Did she? Oh yeah, I was like, did she steal like half of WWE's production crew?
Dude,
Because
she's a
this is just the
multi-millionaire.
doc. This is just the WWE doc. Yeah, but this is just the like actual
It's
WWE
true.
documentary crew. Like it's the same shots. It's the same. It's the
Yeah.
same everything. I was like, did she just take them?
I must say though, there was a report from Dave as well that the initial like rumors of her demanding loads of money were untrue. That she's like genuinely just doing
Yes,
this as a bucket list thing, which I think is really cool.
which is
Yeah,
dope, and it's way more comforting. Not comforting, but like the Azumi Sasha match, or not Sasha, the Azumi Mercedes match is a lot more likely
yeah,
now because it's like not like, oh, they're going to go bankrupt if they use her too many
yeah.
times. Because
It,
that was the
it
initial
definitely feels a
understanding.
lot more like she's gonna do this long haul than it used to, because especially because she wants to do
Mhm.
acting, and I don't think she'd go back to WWE if she wants to do acting. Whereas if she's acting, she can say, okay, I can do X amount of dates with Stardom and New Japan. So I think the Dave report definitely made it seem like she's a lot more long haul than she was, and the video
Yeah.
she hyped, she kind of has to win after that. Like, she's in
Oh,
tears
100%.
going, "This has been my dream. Everybody has dreams, and this is mine, and I want to make it." Like, you can't put out a video like that and then lose, you know? So,
And I mean, like, especially with the recent report, I mean, it would be hard to have her lose her first match,
yeah,
right? Like, that would be hard in the
yeah,
first place. But now that it's like, okay, this isn't her challenging Kyrie, and then she's gonna be like, okay, that was cool, and then have maybe like one
mhm,
more match and then leave. Like, realistically, she's gonna wrestle, a few times this year, and going forward. I don't have any confidence in anybody staying away from WWE after Cody and Jonah both went back, because those just don't make sense to me. Um, but like, so I'm never like, oh, there's no way she goes back to WWE anytime soon. She can go back fucking 2 months from now, for all I know. But it does feel like a lot more like, okay, she's gonna be around for the big shows. She's gonna be more of a Kyrie than she is gonna be a fucking
mm,
Yoshiko. You know what
yeah,
I mean? For Stardom, I mean. Uh, which I'm excited for.
yes,
And yeah, so she's definitely winning the belt. It's also like it's not her hometown, but she like stays in San Jose quite like she's a San Jose legend. Her and Bailey, just by association with
that's
Bailey. She's a
yeah, yeah,
she's a NorCal legend.
yeah.
So
That match
yeah,
is the semi-main as
it'll be a
well,
big show
isn't
for her.
it? It's
Yes.
yeah.
That
That
was
was never going
I
last. I
and I don't think it needed to,
no.
especially the fact that they loaded that fucking car. Like, as a New Japan fan, that's one of the best American shows they've
Mhm.
ever
Oh yeah.
produced. Like, period.
Apart from like the
I mean, they have
feud, the
Homicide and Tom Lawler
yeah,
just like fucking five down on the card. Like, that's insane.
yeah. No, like the thing is, they were never gonna main event because like I've seen through this, like New Japan doesn't see the women on that level. Like Stardom obviously does, but like New Japan, Togedo, and probably Rocky Romero, it's like yeah, the women are cool, but Okada's here, you know?
Which, I mean, when you think about it, the first person in Japan to ever create a women's division in a men's company, Atsushi Onita, refused to let them main event ever.
Yeah.
The first time a woman main evented was after Onita was gone from the company,
Mm,
and they were like, "Okay, Megumi Kudo, it's a retirement show. Maybe she should go over this tag team match." I mean,
yeah.
like that was the first and only time a woman ever main evented a men's show in Japan.
Yeah.
Like as far as I'm aware, I'm pretty sure that's like
Well,
I think Kyrie and Mayu was one of the
there
like
there
second
was a
or third.
briefly lived women's division in like I think it's like IWE or something in the late 70s because I know like one of the black
Mm,
pair
I
I
know what
think
you're
one of the
talking about.
black pair came out of
Yeah.
retirement for it or she like defected to join it um so I know there was like a briefly lived women's division in a company in the 70s but I don't think
Mhm.
they would have main evented but I don't know for certain so
But yeah, so these Japanese companies, I'm like
they're gonna need
obviously I
time.
don't.
Like things aren't
Yeah, for
happening
sure.
overnight, you know. Like just like
And like I
in
said, I'm
America,
pretty sure.
like women's wrestling in America took a long time to get.
Oh, they still don't main event
Yeah, but I mean they
outside of like
can,
Bianca.
they do on
Yeah.
occasion. But yeah, I mean Japan is just it's behind because they're still getting used to the idea that women are actually wrestlers and not just idols.
Hmm.
So yeah, Sasha was never like
But yeah,
Mercedes and Kyrie was never gonna main event that show, but like it
when
shouldn't stop anybody from enjoying it. Like they're gonna like Mercedes doesn't care. I'm sure she's gonna have the match she wants. Like she wants to wrestle Kyrie.
also if anybody was gonna go over them, Okada and Tanahashi
Yeah.
for the first time for a championship in America, it makes sense. You know what I mean? And like I said, like when you put into perspective, this is like as far as I'm aware, like the fourth, maybe fifth time that a Japanese company has, or no, this would have been the fourth or fifth time that a Japanese company has ever put a women's match in the main
Hmm.
event. Like, period. You get it, right? Like it's it is like there's a way to go.
Yeah.
It's not like a given, like a lot of people were expecting it to be. And I'm okay with that. Like I said, I mean, it's a long card and the main event's still probably going over 30. And I don't think Kyrie and Mercedes need to go
Oh no,
over 20,
definitely not.
25 at all. You know, what I mean, like they definitely can sit at a 20-minute, a 50. Everybody's worried about the time. I think that's the one fair worry is that they won't
Yeah.
be given more than 10 minutes. They have to be given more than 10 minutes. I feel like that's a must. If they don't, that's like we'll have to have a serious conversation. You know what I mean? Um, but this just feels like it's setting it up for
Yes.
success way more than people are giving it credit for.
I also have to say, Mercedes Mone is she's not main eventing Stardom either. I just
Oh
if any
no.
of her stands are out there listening, the red belt goes last. Either she challenges for the red belt, which isn't gonna happen because she can't lose.
What if she does?
You run into a political
What if it's the
nightmare.
Yokohama show?
I don't
No,
know.
she could. Okay, the if she doesn't win the IWGP match, she's definitely the Yokohama challenger.
I don't think so. You run into a real nightmare there. Do you have her
But then
lose
she has to lose
twice?
twice in a
Yeah,
row.
like that's a nightmare. And I do not want a 30-minute Julia draw ever again.
Yeah, no, we're good with
So,
that.
um, like that's the thing. Mercedes won't main event in Stardom either because I mean she's a part-timer number one, but she's not the red belt champion. So like if there are any Sasha stands out there, probably not listening to us, but if you are, she's not main eventing Stardom. It's just not how they roll. The red belt.
And if she does, it'll be a very specific
Yes,
circumstance.
like I know,
Like
like
it'll be very,
yeah, like the
very
white belt
specific.
went on over the red belt once because it was a hair match. You know, like Mercedes isn't putting
Well,
her hair
twice
on the line.
because Mayu and Momo over Kagetsu and Hana.
Oh
Um,
yes, yeah. So I mean, if she's white belt champion,
in
maybe,
modern
but yeah,
history.
she's probably not going to be white belt champion or red belt champion. So yeah, that's Mercedes. Anyway, we have two shows to preview. The first of which is in Korakuen
Mm.
Hall on the 15th or 17th of February. This is the first
Ooh,
Korakuen with cheering. This is also the last day of league action for the Triangle Derby. So
yes, it
this is
is.
kind of an important show. Um, in the opener, we have a four-way tag. It's Mahime versus Mina Shirakawa and Mariah May versus Lady C and Miyu Amasaki versus Fukigen Death and Rina. So, I mean, Club Venus might win. Mahime might win. Who knows?
I'm getting to the card now.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't fuck. My Hime should
Yeah.
win over like Lady C and Miyu or Death and Rena, just to get they don't have many wins left in them, so I would like to get see a few. But yeah,
Yeah. The next match then is our first Triangle Derby match. It is Utami
ooh,
Hayashishita Azumi and Saya Kamatani versus Hazuki Koguma and Saya Ida. So Queens,
this is gonna be mid, and I'm gonna be upset.
yeah, so Queen's Quest are on the verge of qualifying. They have 9 points. Classmates, I believe, have four. So I don't know if they have.
Oh, classmates are out.
Yeah, so
Classmates
I
are
don't know
out.
if they have classmates win to make the red block more unpredictable.
Here. Hold on.
Because
Spanner has a exact
oh
math of
dear God,
this.
I don't want to do math.
No, it's not because it's very very simple from what I remember. Um, go on, keep
All
talking.
right. Well, I think Queen's Quest loses so that the other teams have a chance of going through. Because if they win, that's basically one spot gone already.
I'm pretty sure Spanner tweets so much.
Banner, stop
Hold
stop
on.
tweeting. That's it.
This motherfucker. Where is it?
Are you sure he did it, or did you just make it up?
Oh, 1%. No, he 1%
Oh
did
yeah,
it.
he
He
always
does it
does it.
for like
Yeah, yeah.
every
It's
tournament. Yeah. Okay, here we are. Here we are. For the block that features Queen's Quest, um, they are still in it. 7 Up won it basically, and Cosmic Angels are still in it.
right.
So those are the three that are left. And two of them are getting through.
Okay.
So what's the Cosmic Angels match on this show?
It is.
It's against God? No, no.
Oh yeah,
uh,
they're done for. Well,
I
you
mean they
see,
should
that's
be.
why I think Queen's Quest loses this, Cosmic Angels loses, and then you kind of have a bit of a shootout then for the second spot.
It's not. Yeah.
There's a f-
But it's not a shootout because
well, there's a few teams on
7 Up
eight
is
points,
already.
and there's two teams to go through.
Yeah. No, so Queen's Quest and 7-Up are both on 9
Yeah.
points, and Cosmic Angels are on
Mm-hmm.
8. So if Queen's
Club
Quest
Venus is
wins,
out. Yeah. Oh yeah.
they're
Okay.
out. Yeah, they already have a match. So if Queen's Quest wins, then it is. Yeah, I think Queen's Quest just wins this
Mm.
because then it's up to 7-Up and Cosmic Angels. Because okay, so what probably happens is Queen's Quest
Yeah.
wins, Cosmic Angels wins, and then 7-Up wins.
Okay.
Who's 7-Up facing?
Lollipop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
um.
all three teams win, and then it just
Okay.
ends up being that Cosmic Angels are
And
out because
Rampage.
they
So
aren't
and
on.
God's Eye can go through anyway. They're on 10 points. They're basically
God's
through.
Eye's
Okay.
already
So
God's
they
Eye's
can
in. God's Eye's
lose
in.
to Cosmic Angels.
Uh, what the I hate
I
that they do the cross
know.
thing because this
I
makes no
know. It's
sense.
the worst.
Because if Goldship wins their match against Unique Lair, then they're tied with
Yeah.
Prominence. And if Prominence loses, then there's a
Okay.
tie for second place. So I mean that's not going to happen, I hope,
No.
because
Well,
that would be really
Prominence
dumb
is
and there'd be
against
a
the
lot of
Bari
like
Bari
bullshit.
Bombers. So
Prominence can
yes.
win that. So yeah, I think it's just Prominence going through. Unique Lair. Yeah, I mean like Unique Lair
Is it
versus
is it
Goldship.
just forehead? Like all of the good teams win? Is that it?
Oh, where do fucking Rebel Enemy go in?
They have six
Um.
points.
Oh, they're
Yeah.
fucked. They're
I think
fucked.
they
Okay.
can get in though.
There's no tiebreakers
Oh
because it's
shit. Yeah,
cross.
okay. All right. Um okay.
I mean, I don't know what the tiebreaker would be because I feel like there should be tiebreakers, but I don't know what tiebreaker in this tournament is.
Least defeats maybe? Cuz they've had do they have a draw?
They would all
Oh
have.
no. Yeah, they didn't draw with anyone. Okay.
So if Rebel Enemy won here against who the fuck are they wrestling
H&M
against H&M, then they would go up
8.
to. I'm just yeah. They'd go up to 8. They'd go up to 7 or not 7. They'd go up to 3 and where the fuck are the losses? Oh, 3 and or 4
Mhm.
and 3. I fucking hate this so much. Uh, they would go up to 4 and 3. Prominence, if they lost, they would be to 4 and 3. Everybody would be at 4 and 3 if Rebel Enemy won and Gold Ship won.
Okay.
There would be a three-way tie for second
Right.
place.
And they probably don't do that. So, okay.
No. It's Prominence. Prominence is just winning a match, and
Okay.
that's it. That's all that
Yeah,
matters.
so
Is that Prominence wins their
there's no
match,
like
and we're
big
good.
final day upset. There's no craziness. It's just
No, I
forehead.
mean the way there might be. I mean, fucking H&M might be beat Rebel Enemy. They don't need
Yeah.
to, but w- things will occur. The chips will fall. Prominence moves through. God's Eye's
Mhm.
already through. Queen's Quest goes through, and 7-Up goes
Right.
through. That that's
We're gonna
that's
have
how
the
it's that's
artist
how it's gonna
champ.
shape out.
Yeah, we're gonna have the artist champions in the semifinals. That's a new one.
Yes,
Okay.
I mean they can lose. Do you think they lose to the winners of the tournament?
Um, I don't know.
I feel like they should probably hold it a bit
Yeah,
longer.
I don't really know because I assumed that whoever won this would face them at like Yokohama or something, but I have no idea anymore. I can't be
Um.
7-Up, so I mean that would mean it would be
So
Queen's
okay,
Quest versus them.
I don't see an issue. Wait, no, Saya's a fucking champion. I don't think it. Maybe it'll be at like
Yeah, but I mean
the
it's definitely not
finals,
it's
Cinderella
definitely not
finals,
7-Up.
something.
So then you have either God's
No,
Eye or Queen's Quest.
this is a question that I hate to ask. What are are the two semifinalists? Are they going to wrestle in the same block? So like,
No,
is
I
it going
don't
to
think
be
so.
Prominence
I
versus
think
God's
it's
Eye?
1A versus
No,
2B, 2A versus 1B. Now they never
I don't like
specified, but I
that.
assume that's how it's going.
So it'd be Prominence versus. They're tied. I don't want to do this anymore. Let's just
Okay,
move on.
cool.
We'll get to it when we get to
Sure.
it.
Cool. That's the most thought anybody has put into the the final day of block action. Um,
That's why you love Stardom
oh yeah.
Quest.
Uh, don't laugh. So the next show to preview is on the 19th of February. Oh yeah, that Stardom show, the Cork and like the cheering is gonna make that like absolutely badass. That's gonna be a fun time.
Yeah. They also are announcing
Oh, and
the
the
how many
trainees.
and the identities
I'm
of the
really
trainees.
interested to see if there's any jumps, cause like that happens sometimes. Like, remember Ice Ribbon had a trainee, and it was like, oh, she was in Wave. Where the fuck? Like, how did you get her?
Isn't isn't Himawari
Yeah,
a
yeah. She
actress girl?
just was like, oh, I'm leaving Actress Girls, and
Yeah,
then just like showed up 2 days later. So it happens. I mean, it would be fun. Maybe. Um,
yeah. And I mean, hey, if you have foundational training from Chigusa Nagayo, uh, come right
yes.
over here. I am
Yeah,
down for that.
and that's probably about all you can get because most people haven't left their promotion recently. Like, there's been very little movement on that front, but who knows,
Yeah.
really? Um, anyway, the
I mean, Ice Ribbon just drops randomly. Like they're just I feel like there are trainees from Ice Ribbon I've heard of that have never competed again.
I mean, they tend to get injured. That company, like, there has so many injuries,
Yeah.
it's crazy. But yeah, that's probably why. Um, but anyway, second show this weekend is the 19th of February. It's Stardom in Tokorozawa. I said that really well. Tokorozawa
Tokorozawa.
Saitama. In the opener, we have Lady C versus Rina. Dear God. Lady C is winning, probably, maybe. There was a point where she couldn't
Mm.
beat the children, but I feel like she has to now.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't care, to be honest with you. The match after that.
I mean, Rena going up for the wait. This is in where is this? This
Yeah.
is Saitama.
Okay.
Never mind. I mean, if there's cheering, if there's cheering, I don't know if there's cheering, but if there is,
Um,
Lady C
somebody
getting
sent me
Rena
a
up for a
list.
big
Hold
ass
on.
choke slam.
I don't know if this is like legitimate or what. Like, I retweeted, but 'cause, yeah, somebody sent me a list because I complained about the clap crowds, and somebody was like, "Here's all of the shows that are clap," and I was like, "Thank you." Um, oh yeah, so 217 is that's not this one. Oh, 219 is clap. So yeah, yeah, this is a
This one.
clap crowd.
Okay. Lady C getting the big choke slam to everybody cheering. Just run that for like the
All
rest
right,
of the year.
but they're not cheering here. So no, I
Oh, they
said
aren't. This
clap.
is 219. Oh, then fuck it. I don't care.
All right. The next match is Yuna Mizumori versus Hina, and well, Yuna Mizumori is winning. The match after that is
Yeah.
Siri, Mariah, and Amisore versus Tam Nakano, Natsupoi, and Waka Tsukiyama, and I mean, God's Eye are winning. The match after that is Hanan and Saida versus Mina Shirakawa and Mariah May. It's Club Venus winning. That is gonna slay so hard.
Yeah.
Um, the match after that then is an 8-woman tag. It is Mayu Iwatani, Hazuki Koguma, and Momo Kogo versus Utami Hayashishita, Saya Kamatani, Azumi, and Miyu Amasaki. It's probably Queen's Quest.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, well, I mean, they value Miyu Amasaki more than Kogo, so
They shouldn't.
yeah, they do. You know, one is 37, the other is
Yeah,
20. Yeah.
that's true.
Um,
Still crazy. That's still crazy that I had to explain to Parker that his bit turned out to be
yeah, that was
completely true.
amazing. Twitter needs to
Oh,
stop like memeing things into life because it happens way too often. Like, I
oh yeah. I mean, we are the ones who created Kevin.
yes, yeah. Well,
If you remember
yeah.
that.
We're not taking credit for that. I don't want it. But yeah,
No.
I saw this tweet recently where somebody was like, "Oh, the kids love Minecraft. Clearly, they want to go back to working in the mines." And then there was a tweet about a state that was trying to like undo labor laws so that children could work in mines, and it was like, "We need to stop
Love that.
tweeting because it."
Now that's
Yeah,
America right
I was
there.
like, we need to stop tweeting because it makes everything worse. So yeah, yeah.
Love
Parker
it.
Parker aged up Momokogo by accident. Um,
That's
like a
great.
sim. You know when you play The
Queen
Sims
Swiss
and you're
win.
like, oh, I'm bored of this, and you age them
Yes,
up.
I.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
He's a big sim
I
guy
can
growing up.
imagine. I'm
Big
not
Sims 2
surprised.
guy. Yeah. My sister still plays
Really?
Sims 3 like
Oh,
religiously every single day. Whenever the kid's asleep,
that's fair.
she's on to the
That's
Sims. It's
fair.
great.
Yeah. I played The Sims 3 a lot, but mine kept like crashing, and then I would like get upset and like stop playing it.
That's so
Yeah,
valid.
so that was traumatic. But anyway, the main event of this house show is a 10-woman tag. There's Donna Del Mondo, Julia, Maika, Himeka, Mai Sakurai, and Tekla versus the Uedo Tai team of Natsuko Tora, Momo Watanabe, Starlight Kid, Saki Kashima, and Ruaka. DDM should win.
Himeka's not tagging
No,
it.
she's not working. She has not got them working boots on. It is funny. I mean, guess DDM wins. I don't really know. It
Who's the
Ruaka can lose, even though she's been like on a Super Cena run lately. But
who the fuck is that? That's Saki Kashima. I do not recognize Saki Kashima's
yeah.
kanji
I
whatsoever.
mean, I just said the
Um,
team.
no, I know. I wasn't listening.
Well, Rena
Um,
is not. Rena is in a different match, so there has
not
to be
in it.
some. So there's only 5 people it could be.
I feel like you. I feel like they had like they gotta give the people what they want, and just like let DDM win these meaningless matches from here on
Yeah,
out. But I feel like they aren't trying to pin Ruaka until what March 4th
yeah.
when the tag match is, or
Well,
March
I
10th or
I
whatever it
remember.
is.
Well, Way to Tie is always like weirdly good on house shows. Like they win loads, so like they could just
Yeah,
win.
I mean they
Yeah,
can win this.
I
Yeah,
just didn't. I
100%.
just figured
I
DDM
mean
was too powerful.
my Sakurai's right
Yeah, I
there,
suppose.
but yeah, I don't
Listen,
know. They
it's,
are
it is.
weird. I mean, like Saki Kashima is about to win the high speed belt, and she just lost a opening match to Natsupoi for,
That is true.
just cause
Um, yeah, sure. That's that show. There's a show like
it's a match.
next
It's a show.
Thursday, but like it is nobody cares. It's the house show. So that is that show. That is us. We will be back next week.
Miyu and Yuna. That's the
Hell
match on that
yeah.
one.
Love life. We will be back next week to review the Stardom Corkin and discuss the trainees and who's gone through in the Triangle Derby. We will also preview Stardom and Showcase Volume 4, which is in fact next weekend. There's also 2 house shows next weekend. One in a place called Wakayama. So if Waka Tsukiyama does not win there, it is a travesty. And there's another show in Nagano that will have happened by the time the episode goes up. So isn't that fantastic? Um, Dylan, any closing remarks or can I close the show?
Uh, I hate to break it to you, but Waka and in Wakayama is wrestling Rampage God's Eye.
Sweet Jesus,
So something tells me she is not winning in
man.
Wakayama. Um, but no, it's been a sad week for me, personally. So I was happy to have a fun show with you, Alex, and I hope you guys all enjoyed even our TJPW coverage. That was obviously quite scuffed because we don't talk about TJPW. Um, next time Wave does a show that matters, I will try to get Alex to talk about it. For all of the people, all of the folks who catch the
I
wave,
feel like
such
we
as me.
shouldn't
Um,
go beyond stardom because there's such a drop off in interest from people. Um,
oh yeah,
but
yeah.
like Joshi is cool at the same time, so maybe.
I don't think motherfuckers know about Kohaku. I think that's the issue.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
don't I don't I
She's
don't think people
she's
get
going
it. You know what I
crazy.
mean? Like once they
Yeah,
get it, they
I
get
agree.
it. Uh, they just need to get it one day. So yeah, shout out to Kohaku, the biggest
Oh
Chad in
yeah.
professional wrestling, even though she's 4'10".
Makoto Shindo season,
Um,
baby. All
yes.
right. Well, it's time to
Yeah,
close the
that's all.
show. If you want to stand, you may
Ooh,
stand. If you want to sit, you may sit. Believe today, shine tomorrow. You decide what you believe in. Ijo.
you joke.